Hi. People are about to look at me really weird, but I figure I haven't done a video for school in a while, and I wanted to do one really quick. God, this flash is bright, I can barely see a thing. Part of the reason I haven't done a video for school in a while is because actually school has been really busy. As you may know, in the last semester, my classes were done in an accelerated half-semester format. And then in the summer, they changed it so that it was going to be 2 full semester classes happening at the same time. At first I thought that might not be that big of a deal. I'm sure I'd be doing 2 classes at the same time, but I'd have twice as much time to do it. It turns out I'm wrong, and here's the thing that I didn't think about. When I'm only doing 1 class at a time, that means that when I'm only doing 1 class at a time, what happens is if a project or an exam or something like that's coming up, when I get a couple of weeks out, I start to work on it, and it seems like each day I get a little more as I get closer and closer to the project, it gets a little more urgent, and I start to worry a little bit more that I'm not going to be able to get it done in time. I really can't see a thing past this flash. I just almost died. As I get closer and closer to a project, especially when I'm about 2 weeks out, I start to really ramp up the effort that I put into it. Or if it's a test, I start putting some effort into studying. But then whatever amount of effort I think is enough, never turns out to be enough. I usually get to be about 1 week out, and I realize that at the pace that I'm going, I'm never going to make it, never going to be done with my project in time. So then I start to do even more, and do even more, and even more, and until finally, I do a ridiculous amount of work in the last 2 days, and then I get the job done. That's great when I only have 1 class, but now I'm taking 2 at the same time, and the first 2 projects in each of my classes have lined up to be on the same weekend. So when I'm ramping everything up and trying to get a ridiculous amount of work done in the last 2 days, I'm actually trying to do it for 2 different classes at the same time. So I found a place where I could actually sit. Probably be just as public and awkward, but at least then I'm not walking, so maybe it'll be more stable on your end. So what's been happening over the last half of the semester is every 3 weeks or so I end up having a case paper and an exam due at the same time. So just as I'm getting used to feeling like I'm maybe caught up and then realize I gotta kind of ramp things up a bit, I end up needing to ramp it up so much that I can't possibly catch up on both, and so I do an okay job on each, or a great job on one and a terrible job on the other. I've been choosing the okay job on both, but it's really not an optimal choice. It would be a lot easier for me if it was like it was in the previous semester, where I could just be working on one or the other and just really pour all of my time into one project and do it really well and just do it in half of the time. I think another part of the problem is what I'm running into related to the fact that I'm doing the school online. Once I'm actually really noticing a really distinct difference, and what that difference is I think the fact that I don't actually go sit in a classroom surrounded by students with an actual teacher talking to me every week or several times a week, means that it's harder for me to really focus on the fact that I'm in class. I'm still learning, but it's hard to think every day about actually doing homework. It almost feels more like a hobby that I don't really enjoy doing very much. When I was an undergrad and I was going to class every day and everything, it actually seemed really important, partially because it was a major part of my life. I was doing something with it almost every single day. But doing it online, it's almost like I'm trying to force myself to go to the gym or floss or something. It's something I know I'm supposed to do, and I do it as much as I can, but I just don't want to. And maybe it also has something to do with the fact that I went almost straight from my undergrad into grad school. I didn't have a lot of time to pause in between, and I'm just sort of tired of it. It's like I still have senioritis from a school that I already graduated from. So I don't know if it's related to the fact that I'm doing the classes online, or it's just me, or what it is, but I think it might have something to do with that. It's like I'm not going to school. It's like I'm reading these things for my own sake, on my own time. Except someone else is choosing the reading for me, and if I just don't like it, there are actual real negative consequences for my life. At this point, I'm doing my best and I'm just going to plow through it, but I am so ready for this to be done, which is unfortunate because even after I finish the 2 classes that I'm taking, I still have 4 more to go, and I am just not looking forward to it. But this is the path that I've chosen, and maybe it'll just turn out it has to do with these 2 classes. Maybe next semester it'll be better. Maybe because I'll be used to the fact that I'm taking 2 classes at a time, I'll be able to get into some sort of rhythm that'll make some sort of sense. But, of course, only time will tell. So, we'll see. Alright. Bye. I just heard some guy ask, why is his face glowing?